paint on walls or walks the line. There's a rare few who think outside the box together for the crew. To break the equations, not bound to any rule. Exposing to the world the universe's own view. It takes the talent of the craftsman, it takes the mind of the fool, to make the vision realize energy and matter in a duel. To a break, to a duel. The old man, bills was running through his head. Cheryl probably got it hiding under his bed. Penny up to Annie, making power for days. Don't listen to a word that the straight dope says. Mike building batteries that power a ship. Victor comes and talking math, that's the water spiral dip. Sean chucking plasma bolts a mile long. Sheila on the video making tones from the prongs. Burning, breaking matter, they said it couldn't be done. And to all the people in the chat, I know you're having fun. So it's time to spend your Saturday with the dope and old man Bills.
Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Nathan. I was my known as Old Man Bills. Joe isn't with us today, guys. He had some other things he had to attend to. Anyway, I just want to say hi to all of you guys, man. I got some cool updates, man. Some things I've been working on. With Geometry Matter, it's going to matter a whole lot here pretty soon. Right on, Dispatch. Dispatch, awesome guy, man, my neighbor. Right on, Bernie. Right on, Vortex, man. Yeah, this is going to be good, man. We're getting ready to start some other things out there that should be very freaking cool, man. Everybody should be happy. I finally got some stuff in I've been waiting on, and now we're going to start really doing good on this stuff. All right, check this out. Yeah, Crypto, you got to get on that Nightbot thing. That thing is awesome. Check this out. Oh. Here we go. So now we got it in. It finally got here. This is my 26 gauge wire, man. The 5 pounds of each. We're going to start geometry coils, man. We're going to start wrapping. So my other channel is going to start to take off with all the stuff we're doing. I have everything set up already over there. Let's see if I can't pull a picture for you of what it looks like. I got the overhead camera and everything set up, so that everybody could check it out. Give me a second, and I'll pull up the picture of it. Sorry, I should only take just a minute. So here it is, man. Check this out. So you can see I have my desk set up. It's over to my side over here where I work at. You see my GoPro right there. I got it mounted so that it picks straight down. So as we're doing these geometry coils, I'm going to wind them right there. And what you're going to see is each spot go in. We'll have a list on where each one goes to each peg. I'll have each peg marked out all the way around it. There'll be 24. And we're just going to videotape it from the top down. So that's going to be way cool, man. Way better than what we've done before. So you're going to be able to see exactly how I'm working it and each wind I do. Now, with that said, I got to tell you, man, it's geometry coils. It's something, I've done a couple of, I've done a lot of. So it's going to be a new experience for us. Dude, we're going to go through the pains of it. We're going to have things that are cancel out the fields, things that will create diodes inside your coil, and things that just won't seem like they're working right. We're going to make them resonate. We're going to make them work on cap banks, and we're going to bounce them back and forth, man. And we're just going to check and see exactly how these things work. We'll try everything everybody else has done, and then we'll throw a few new of our tricks in there. We'll be building the circuits as well. So that's going to be one thing. I think I'm on the first one. I'm just going to show the wind. I want to keep it simple, keep us in there where we know how to build it. And then the second video of that series, we'll do the circuits so that we have a couple of them to run. And then we'll put it together in the third one. Maybe we'll make a video after that with all three put together. This way we can kind of get used to the process. And, I'll show you exactly how I work it out in my CAD on where I want to go with the windings of everything. Because it's very specific and a very specific reason why I do it this way. And then that way we don't get any cross wires or anything like that. It's done by a number system. It's pretty easy. One of the last calls I did, I should say the first one I didn't even bother to write down the numbers. I just did the geometry in my head and then whipped it out real quick. probably took me about 30 minutes to do, but it was probably one of my best coils I've done. I am going to be doing a repeat of a coil I've already done because people had interest in it. So we're just going to do the hexagon coil. Fairly simple wind. It should be straightforward for everybody. Get kind of used to the patterning. We'll go over why I'm starting wires in each direction. And we're going to see what might come out of it is what we'll say. And then once we test it, we'll see exactly what it is. But I'm really excited, man, that we got the wire in. We have this right here. So what this thing is, just so we know, is every one of these individual holes you see here is a dowel. And what'll happen is, as you put the dowels in, I'll have a board underneath, and I'll have holes in the board as well. So the dowels will sit up, a certain height all the way around, and then we'll wrap it. Now we got to keep this thing tight when we wrap it. It's got to be that way the whole time. Once you loosen these things, they lose all ability to work correctly. So they suck. So we're going to keep it tight in there, man. We're going to stretch it with the dowels in there. We're going to have this. And then what goes over top is we'll have another one of these with just a ring around it. We'll put it in there and we'll switch it together. Now, we're going to have to leave a little bit because I'm going to also pinch them. Basically, I want to use a twist tie or a zip tie to bring them down on the ends. And we're going to make sure that we get that angle that goes on the bottom and a little bit of angle that goes on the top, kind of like a UFO shape. We're going to smash them on the side, make it puff up in the center, okay? That should work as a diode effect in the coil. Now, that's going to be with this. So every one of them that we do, this will be the wind that it comes out to. You can see the hexagon shape in there right there in the center. So every one that I do will be like this. And then what we're going to do in the series is I'm going to go ahead and stack these things in a major wind at the end of, like, say 3 months or something. I'll make a final design that has 3 or 4 or 5 different geometries in it that go on one stack coil. So, man, that's going to be just the whole neat thing. That's what I changed that other channel over to that I have. That'll be the geometry coil one. And then for the Rodin coil one, I have a couple different designs. We're going to break that coil into 2. Instead of just one wound coil, it's going to be broken into 2 because I want it to resonate with each other. I also want to add a third winding in there so that even if we don't need it, it'll be there, but I want to use it in there as a primary trigger and or an energy pullout. So those are going to be cool, man, because you're not going to see a whole lot of AHA coils that are built the same way that I'm going to do them. I'm going to flip it on its head, man, just to get it done. I know a lot of people have been waiting on it. I've been waiting on the wire, putting the setup and everything in it. I mean, I dumped money into the GoPro, man. I got a GoPro 11, cost me over $300. Got an extended battery, so we don't have to worry about the time on it. Set up the whole bench and stuff over there. I didn't have that before. All that just came in. I got everything done and set up. I just got the wire in. I've been working my 3D printers to death. They're off right now so that I can actually focus today. But through the last 3 days, man, it's been go, go, go. My whole garage has been on fire with different things working and going. I'll give you guys a quick update on my coils here. Of course, this one here. You've seen this one in here, the geometry of it, man, and how the number 1 wind goes. And it works perfect in there, just going like that. So check this out. I figured the way to do it, unless I wanted to change the exact shape and make it bigger or something like that, we're going to use these. So it's only threaded to a certain point and stops. I'm going to cut off about half of this, okay? This should give me the stability I need to run this thing on a bigger motor. So let me bring up the picture of what I want to do here. Because you cannot run the motors into this unless you run a DC motor into high voltage, but then it takes away from the effect of it. And I don't want to do that. We need the center of it to push out as far as we can like an electret. So we're going to need sorry, I pushed the wrong button on this thing again. Just excited today, guys. We're going to need this. We're just going to need a simple pulley system at the bottom. Lock it in there, man. Spin this thing so that the energy itself will go through the bolt, right? But then goes into the pulley and stays away from the motor. Before, I would have the energy sucked into the motor. We will not have that problem now. I ran into that several times, man. So this whole thing can transfer over. I tried to run the bipolar on my ZVS for AC, and AC sucks on it. Okay, you're going to need a snubber circuit in order to do it, and I don't want to go out and put out the snubber circuit on it. I'll wait for Sean to send over his Uber 2, and he says it works pretty good. The problem is grounding on this. There's no grounding on a bipolar testicle. It grounds to itself based on where the number 1 is. So you could technically clip the ground to one side and move it off to the side, but that defeats the purpose of having a bifilar coil. So it's also the reason why my other Tesla coils are not bifilar. These are. This right here, man. Check this out. It looks like a candy apple. Look at that. That's pretty cool, man. Now it's still on the rod because I was letting it dry. Yeah, dispatch came over and checked this out yesterday, man. Look at that. Nice, glossy. You can see it comes right over it, man. It fills it in perfect, man. It looked like candy, I know. I finally got this stuff where I got the timing almost just right. Okay, almost just right, man. You can see the windings in there. You can see the gloss on it. The epoxy's working beautifully. You see the ends, it nice, comes over. Beautiful there. Does the same on this side here. Comes over the edge. Doesn't have a lot of dimples in it. My other one, you saw it, man. It had some dimples in it, man. Here, I'll show you. You can catch that. It looks like a diamond cut the way it's done, man. Like on a motor. But that's because I didn't do the epoxy at the right times. I got that fixed. Check it out, man. I got this one. Yeah, it's got that gloss on there too. Look at that. Yeah, electric balls. Yeah, you got it, man. Makes cool looking glasses right there. Check that out. But this thing is absolutely gorgeous, man. Came out good on the ends. I had a little trouble with my prints, man, when I did them. To be very honest with you, it was set too high on the temperature because I was looking to see if I couldn't get the silk PLA to give me a little bit more sheen. But then on these, I just decided I'd go ahead and do it in the finish. So from here on in, I'll be putting them at the right temperature so it won't get that little extra artifacts on the ends here. But as far as the winding and how it's going to hold it in, man, it's going to be perfect. This is absolutely amazing geometry coil right here, man. Now, most of you would know it this way, okay? I show it this way because it it's like a peanut, but this is the way it's supposed to go. So the one thing I wanted to do on this one was the primary is to get the primary to oscillate, just like this, up and down. It'll go around it, okay, just like this. It'll go around it, but I want to, yeah, I know. I want it to go up and down like this. And it's for a reason, because when you get a bipolar Tesla coil, depending on where your primary is, it pushes energy to one side or another. So it'll shoot out one side, then it'll shoot out the other. And it's kind of like what the RAV does when I set up two at once. It'll go bright on one while the other one's sucking in, and then it'll go like this, back and forth. And that's kind of the thing on there, man. So the coils are coming out beautiful. So I had no trouble with them, no error problems, no bubbles, nothing. And I've been putting a lot of coloring in them. This one, everything looks kind of bright in here because of the light, but it's actually got a pretty good dark streak in there. I don't know, you probably see it right there a little bit. I put some black in there with it, and I also put red in there. And in the green one, I put a little yellow in there, but that yellow don't like to show up too well. So we got some awesome coil things going on, man. Totally awesome. I got two new colors that I'm going to put out. for my regular Tesla coil, I have that dark red, and man, it comes out like blood red. And then there's going to be that green, so it's a really vibrant green that's going to come out, man. And those will be in my regular Tesla coils that I put out, and those are going to be awesome. I don't think I'll be running the ZVS on a bifilar anymore. What for DC, yes, but not for AC. For DC, absolutely, but not for AC. I don't like the way it's set up in AC for it. For a regular coil, it's fine. You can find the point where you need to shoot it out real quick. Don't blow up your ZVS, and doing good. These bifilers are a different animal. I'm going to wait for Sean's Uber 2 to see what's going on there. Right on, Paul. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was going to fire up the lab, man, but I fried several circuits today trying to put this thing into AC and blast it out. It cost me quite a bit of money. So that won't be happening again. We're just going to run in DC and see what we get. And hopefully we'll be able to pull that magnetic field right out of the electricity field that we're going to have going on while it's in oscillation. So that's going to be kind of cool in itself. We'll see how that works. If we need to pull out the number one coil further out from where I have it now, which is right close to it, if we need to pull it out from it, we might have to do that. So, but I think it may have to be very honest with you, because if it's in like this, it won't pull out the field like I want it. I probably have to pull it like this and let that field stretch. Other than that, man, it's been a lot of work. Like I put in, we didn't do the Wednesday show. I took that time to work on things. I probably put in like 30 hours of CAD work, man, just so I can get some of this stuff up and going. And then I also put in, all the work to get all this stuff done and the coil set. So we're rocking and rolling, guys. We finally have this stuff taken care of and good, and we're ready to run this stuff. It's going to be a flat-out sprint to Tesla Tech for next year. Another thing we're doing, I was talking to Mike, and we talked to Papa Bale. We did the interview with Papa. Awesome, by the way. Papa Bale is awesome. We're going to be making ourselves a pulse motor. So a pulse motor and a Bedini motor are both on the list to be done. And that's probably going to be about 2 months out, or about a month and a half at least, when I start securing the rest of the parts. I'm about 80% there on parts already. And then we'll get the rest. We're going to do the spark gap, and we're going to do the piezo disc, just like Mike says. And we're going to do some cool shapes and stuff, of course, because that's what I do. And I like to do the Utron that Papa Bale's working on one of them. So we'll just do a straight up, round one. And I already got 2 that are ready to go for that. One with neodymiums, and then one's going to be with the regular ceramic magnets. So we're going to see what the difference is there. Mike builds his coils a little bit different than Papa, so we're going to do both. And we're going to pull off a Bedini, and we're going to do a bifilar, probably 5-wine coil for that one. So I'm ordering wire again already. Not that I don't have enough over here. I probably have like 50 pounds or 60 pounds of wire sitting over here. But when you get into these things and you get into these coils, there's quite a bit of wire to wind stuff. So I reordered on stuff like that. So we're just going to go through it. And I think one of the reasons, guys, I want to do all this stuff is we all talk about it and relate it to one another. We can see similarities between one thing and another, but I want to put it out there. You know what I mean? As far as consistency and how we test it, how we look at it, how we make the video, how to, do everything possible to make these things work, what the benefits are to certain parts of the circuit, what, detractors are from it, why you would want certain things, because there's multiple things it does. And most of these things have multiple levels of what they do. That's kind of why I want to show it all. And I just want to thank, some people out there. I want to thank Darren and Ulysses. You guys have been awesome and helping me out, man, in getting people into the members area and taking care of me, man. You guys really have done an awesome job out there, man. I want to say thank you for that. It's helping me in acquiring everything that we need to do all these circuits and stuff. I just dropped probably I don't know, it was like $3,000 or $4,000 here in the last month, just acquiring, between cameras and wire and, PLA, all the different circuits we're going to need. I just been dropping money like crazy. You couldn't imagine how much is there. So I just want to say thank you guys for that, because that's been awesome. Now, I want you to check this out. Mr. Sam's out there. He's going to hook me up tomorrow. I'm going to meet up with him. And he is donating this to the cause. Take a look at that, man, right there. Courtney Sam's, man, you're awesome, brother. I'll see you tomorrow. That right there is the number 2 out of his 9-foot Tesla coil. He's replacing it. So he's donated it to us so that we can start ripping some voltage on it. Man, I can't wait to hook my Slayer exciter circuit to this thing. I think we're just going to start turning things on and off, brother, all day long. It's going to be so awesome. Darren, you're absolutely awesome, brother. Thank you very much for that, man. I really do appreciate it. It goes to a good cause, man. Helps us take care of everything, man. We're going to have to name something after you, brother. But yeah, this is the awesome, man. 8 inches is the diameter. It looks to be like 2 foot, maybe close to 2.5 to 3. And I think this is going to be way awesome, man. Oh, he's got some other cool stuff too. Oh, dude. All right. We're going to get hooked up here, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you. This is so awesome. I can't tell you how long I've wanted to build something that big. Okay. Lightspeed, brother, thank you for becoming a member, man. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, that coil is just going to be, yeah, it's going to be out of sight, man. That I seen him operate that thing, and it seems like a machine gun's going off. Like, his neighbors must freak out when he turns it off, because, you know what I mean? Just right away. Yeah, awesome. So, yeah, definitely have to make a Darren coil, man. See what he wants to name it. Right on, brother. Yeah, guys, so I'm excited, man. You can probably tell. I finally got some rest, got in here, got to work. I haven't, been able to put that much time in here lately. I've been building coils for other people, you know what I mean? And I haven't been able to put work into my channel like I needed to. So now that we got everything, man, it's just going to be ripping and taking care of it and everything like that. So, yeah. It's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. I got a little bit more things to do in my garage here to make it tip top, and then I'll show off everything that I did in here. And I think you guys will understand why. Like, every area of this thing is getting transformed into something really cool, just studio we can start building stuff out of. And that's just kind of been slow process of getting done. We did the garage door. I took apart the rack that's over here and put it back together and rebuilt everything, painted it up. And, have my Spider-Man poster behind there and everything. It looks awesome. But yeah, we got the other side, man, where I do all my technical work and stuff like that. My soldering zone. That's all a thing on itself. We're making custom wires for Tesla coils now. So instead of taking a wire, chopping it apart, I just order the wire itself to do grounding wire and stuff like that, or one for AC cables. So those are all handmade now. There's no taking something, chopping it apart. It's all coming from building it myself. Those will be on my shopping thing soon, so you can buy them individually if you just want a ground wire, or if you just want a AC wire for your Tesla coil. I'll be putting those on there. I also have Tesla coil clips that I'm coming out with that we basically took a crimping tool, and I made 2 dies for it. And you put in the piece of copper in it and you crimp it, and it makes the actual piece that comes on it that I put on all my Tesla coils. I like those way better, man. Way better. So those will be coming out in case you just want to buy a couple of those, and you need it for another Tesla coil project. just little parts that you normally don't find. If you can't find the tips for your Tesla coil, I'll put those on there. Also, which nut you need for it, I'll put that on there because I use a certain one, and there's a very specific technique that I use to do it. And it involves going around the thing and soldering it. You know what I mean? Put the wire on it, solder that wire into it so it stays on there. The PLA's got to be thick enough for it to dig in there, but not to the point where anything overheats and causes it to burn out. So those kind of techniques and stuff like that, you'll be getting on there. I'll just sell the caps with a wire attached if somebody wants to get one of those, and they can just solder that on. Way better, man. These tips are real nice. They shoot out a lot of lightning bolts, man, and they keep it a pretty cool temperature where they don't melt down. That's awesome. So, yeah, man, we are going to be on a sprint, man, towards Tesla Tech. And I don't know what we want to present there. We're going to get with Steve and see, what we want to do. But by then, man, I don't know where we're going to be. In about 6 months, we'll have a plan, I think. But it all depends on what thing pops out to us, what we want to do a presentation on. I wouldn't mind just getting up there and speaking, to be honest with you. I just think, I'll do a lot of studying, get a lot of the right words to use, being that it's going to be a conference for everybody who does this. They don't want somebody up there who's probably saying things incorrectly or to the way they think of it as incorrectly. So I will study for it, and I will put in the right stuff. I'll get with a couple people that are pretty good at it, man, and we'll get the technical details worked out. Usually I just do and build things because I can intuitively do it. But in this case, we'll put out the right stuff on it, and I think it'll be very awesome, man. So, Mini Jacob's ladder, nice. I could do quite a few of those tricks, man. High voltage is in my back pocket, my friend. I think one of the things I want to do in all this, and I have a technical manual Sean sent me, and he said to study one chapter or 2 chapters in it, and I think I'll do that, is I wanted to write down the AC and DC flyback and just put it out in a free book, for everybody on actually what they're doing. And you'd be surprised at how these things work and how you can manipulate them in 3 different ways that you didn't even think were probably possible. How they hook in with Tesla coils and make the Edwin Gray motor work. I'm going to put that out, and I think that's going to be important to do. I have a lot of it in notes, and I'll just have to transfer them over. But, there's a lot of different ways you can make circuits run. And I don't think people really realize that. And it could be as simple as adding a third leg to a circuit and just making that so that it saturates it and creates a 3-pin directed energy to one side. What I mean by that is basically it goes like this, and then you can get a third one that goes in there like your testicle and make them combine and saturate. And what it actually does is it allows you to manipulate it on the back end with frequency and your temperature and everything else. It changes the game. It changes you from to be possibly high voltage DC into a nice AC that comes out of it. And it's a game changer. It's an Edwin Gray secret that he did in his coil system. So that's what I'm going to do as well. I'm going to show that in there and just write the differences between high voltage potential and what you think is going on, what you think your negative is, and what it is in the ground. Because it's a magnetic field is what gives you the pushback and pressure in your system. And I want to show that to people. And I could do videos on it, which I do, but I think it really digging into the proper terms of it and everything else would help people a lot. And don't expect some giant manual from me, but it'll be an easy to follow with a lot of good testing in it that you'll be able to get to the next level on fairly fast. So, yeah, it's going to be cool. Yeah, I've been putting it together for a long time, man. A lot of it comes from all the different things that we built on this channel. I've done a ton of work, man, on that the gravity flyer. And I'll tell you right now, with what they're coming out with, they're just verifying my work on that. And it's pretty cool to see. Though, you know, I don't think they quite have it all figured out, but they're getting to the field portion of it. And I'm very happy that they did that. We have some, now that they're starting to think about it and understand it the way I do, in the fact that you cannot build anti-gravity in the way that you think. It's actually gravity that you're building, not a negative to it or a pushing away from it kind of thing. You actually have to build a gravity well. And part of that gravity well is that outside field. Now, I am going to be updating the gravity flyer video that I did on that field. That's one of the things that I have on my plate for this month is I want to show you how it contains the energy and how when I flip it, it pushes the energy. And then I also, in talking to Limited State, we're talking about seeing just like the rad gives off the light and it shows you the different things in the camera. I want to be able to show that on the gravity flyer so you can see that the field is actually there. Sean came out with some other things to show magnetic fields and stuff like that. This is more of a radioactive magnetic field. I don't know the best way to say that, but that's what we're looking at here on the outside there. It's definitely not something you want to be around all the time, and I rarely turn it on. But I think it's worth the science to show it so you can see exactly what you're doing. And then I'll show you guys a little bit extra on that compression of the gravity well so that you can see exactly what we're looking at here, man. Yeah, we got some cool stuff. Let's see. Courtney says random Q do play on guitar. Nice. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. I tried to play guitar and I'm not very good at it. And it's because I got arthritis in my fingers. I can't move them. So my son and I tried it and he's better at it than me for sure. But I'm no good at it. The gravity flyer though, man, I'm going to show you guys something interesting. And just walk you through it. Because I don't think people really understand what we had there and how close we really are on everything. So, and I know people are always interested in it. So we'll just kind of bring that back and show that. That's on my list, man. I blew out 2 motors last time I played with it. I was, it wasn't the high voltage or anything. It was just a connecting technique that I was trying to balance the motors with the actual high voltage. And well, I put it a little too close to the high voltage and it just fried both of them. So not a problem, just fix them, but they've been out of the motor that I usually use. And I use specific ones so that they don't have these problems. But it was in the way of connection on the little bar thing. So not a big deal. They finally got it back in. So I reordered those and got them on their way. So yeah, Geometry Coil, man. You're going to love that. You're going to love that series. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm going to make a ton of mistakes. I'm absolutely going to make a ton of mistakes on those. There's no question about it. Okay. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, but that's all right. That's what learning is. You know, we're going to go through everything and find out exactly why these things work. And we're going to find out why everybody tests for certain things. You know what I mean? What kind of lights light up next to them, how they actually oscillate, how to pull that negative energy to the system, how to keep them cooler. And I'm just going to show you everything, good, bad, and ugly. That means if it turns into like an air conditioner for the room, hey, then you're going to see it. And I'm not holding back on it. If it goes to the water and lights it up like my Tesla coil does, you're going to see it. You know what I mean? If what it does lights up LEDs, and that's what I'm going to show you. Anything that it works. I also have a stereo receiver that I got in to run the test on my Rodin coil, just like they did. So we'll be verifying that. I have to make an LED board, and I had not been looking forward to that at all. Just to show how many of those things light up, just like they do in their circuit when they made it. just kind of one of those things important. I didn't want any other circuits attached to it to give any false positives in any way. I just wanted to straight up be LED. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to soldering 100 of those things. Okay, it's not very fun, but yeah, we're gonna get there. Yeah, we're almost to 9,000 subs, man. Yeah, thank you, Darren. We're close, man. I think with the work we're gonna put in the next 2 months, man, it's gonna just make us fly right over the top. I'm gonna try to change my video style a little bit for you guys, and a little whiteboard, a little bit of working on it, a little bit of cool sparks. You know what I mean? Just kind of go through a different variation, doing things instead of just making it one thing. I'm gonna make it kind of a little bit of everything, and try to put out a higher quality video. That's what part of the camera equipment's for, and the lighting stuff that I had to buy. I swear, man, I'm just an old guy in my garage. I'm not over here for all these movie star lights. You know what I'm saying? Not my thing, man. But if it helps everybody out and learn, by all means, I'll do it. So, oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you what, man. I'm gonna investigate. That's for sure. That gravity flare, man. I'm close on it. I'm very close on it. So I can't wait to push that thing over the top, man, and just be, you know what I mean? Be done. And that'll be cool. What's up, Mike? Mike's got a cool show going on later on today, guys. Check it out. Mike Faraday from Faraday Research. He was helping me out this morning, talking about the pulse motor, talking about his Renegade, exactly how he builds his coils and which parts to use in it. We went to the right piezos in there and everything else. I want to thank Mike for that. That's going to be here in the next month, man. I'm going to be doing that one. I got just about everything here. I even got to the old batteries, stuff like that. I want to use motorcycle batteries and stuff like that for my primary driving battery. Maybe a little overkill, maybe not, but I just want the amp hours out of it. Same 12 volts. So that's really cool. I want to thank you for that, Mike. Yeah, we're getting a lot of cool builds coming up, and some of the stuff, man. Yeah, everybody's been doing. I've been late to the party. Yeah, Mike's been out for a few weeks with a busted tooth. We sent him some nice, beautiful cards to get well soon. Oh man, I love it. Mike's got a great sense of humor, man. Really good person. So he takes it well. He was laid out, man, like Homer Simpson on the couch, bro. He was out like a light, man. You could see it on his face that he just had the life sucked out of him when he had his tooth fixed. Oh man, yeah. It felt like 100 beer, like 100 beer thing. You know what I mean? Like you just went through all the beers in the whole fridge, and you were like out, like oh, yeah. No, dude, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, I had all mine removed, bro. I'll tell you the story on it. I had a couple teeth removed because they were giving me problems all the time because I had a lot of fillings. And then if you have fillings for long enough, they break and they shatter and you didn't realize right away, or you hit a bone or chewed on a bone or something. It's like cracking and breaking everything out. And it got to the point where I just said, look, I'm tired of being in pain all the time. I'm tired of having to take any kind of thing to deal with it. Just take them all out. And that's what I did. I still had plenty of good teeth in there, and I was done. I was done with the pain. I was done with everything. I just wanted it all gone. Okay. So that's what I did. So as soon as the old man can afford it, I'll be getting implants, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. I just got dentures in there now. So yeah, I hate tooth pain. I absolutely hate it. Dealt with it for year after year after year. I just said, man, I'm retired, man. I don't have to deal with this no more. You know what I mean? I just go get them taken out. So that's what I did. Yeah. That's hard to deal with, man. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, I saw that they have a lot of problems with implants. I want to go to a specialist for that. Just because they do it quickly and they seem to have less problems than individual dentists taking care of it. So Think we get away better than that. Yeah. hoping, hoping. Yeah. It couldn't be as bad as the tooth pain I went through. I'll tell you that right now. Nothing beats that. I've had that for year after year after year. Hated it. Thousands and thousands of dollars gone for nothing. Dude, I did get something cool. Well, I don't know. You know, when I talk about this a lot, they had some things for some hearing in there. They had injections to get your hearing back. So I was looking into that quite a bit because I need those because I wear I have to wear hearing aids wherever I go. It's so funny. I told the wife, I go, I better get the things fixed, and I did. So when we go to Tesla Tech, I'm not sitting there wondering what everybody's saying. I, I hate that, man. Sometimes I ostracize myself from parties and stuff like that because I just can't hear what you're saying. That has nothing to do with anything else. I just physically cannot hear you. So yeah, I had to get those fixed, dude. That was pretty cool. I know. Just some old people have to do. But that's all good, man. That's all good. I'm excited though. This wire is awesome, bro. This stuff is thick. You just see how look at this. So I got a couple of these, and the funny thing is, I got these ones are 26 gauge for that. So I'm gonna have to order some 24 gauge here soon. On some of this other stuff for the windings on it, I went with 26 for the geometry coils because I was winding 20s, and 20 gauge wire itself sucks. It just sucks because you bend it and it likes to stay bent. 26 gives you a little leeway when you go to maneuver it and bend it. It likes to bend back and get straightened out. And that's one of the reasons why I did this, man, on this one. Yeah, I used to work around table saws and stuff, man, and trust me, it does the same thing. Yeah, you lose a lot of hearing. But yeah, I'm excited. This Friday, excuse me, not Friday, today's Friday. Saturday, I'm going to set up my station. And then Sunday, I'm going to start winding my first geometry coil in that station. So we should have that video either Sunday or Monday. The geometry coil, the first one will be built. Like I said, we're just going to wind it, get used to the way we wind it, and then go into something a little bit more. I think all of it at the same time is kind of overkill. And I want to make sure the circuits work in it before I hand those out. So that's pretty cool. I do have all the stuff for the circuits, though, so that's awesome. We'll be putting fans on it and everything, man, just to make sure it stays cool. I don't need any extra heat in there. Like I said, I got batteries here. I got to pick up one more. I got stuff to charge Bedini circuits with. Came out of my scooter. So my unfortunately, my wife's grandmother passed. And when she did, she gave her little go-go scooter. And let me tell you, I took my granddaughter and we went for a ride on the go-go scooter. I had to replace the batteries in it. So I replaced them, and we were hauling butt around the house, man, doing donuts and stuff. Those things are pretty fun. I told the wife I wanted to keep it, and she told me I couldn't. So she sold it the next day. Kind of sucks, man. You know what I mean? But I got the old batteries from that, which are pretty cool. Like I said, I use a motorcycle battery for the other one because it has 35 amp hours in it instead of the 12 amp hours you get in one of these things. So, yeah. Dude, I love little scooters and stuff. I told the wife I got to get a Power Wheels, for the granddaughter that has a remote control so we can drive her around the yard. She called me lazy, but I says, you know what? She ain't driving that thing under her control yet, so we gotta do the driving, But those are pretty fun, man. I was excited about that. I still like that go-go scooter. I might get me one just for myself later on. But then again, I never walk anywhere. Those things fly, man. So anyway, yeah, that was pretty cool. So we got a bunch of stuff from that. I got diesel truck batteries for my truck. I just swapped out my truck batteries out of there. So I got some deep cycles to see what we can't do on a Bedini motor. Hopefully, those would be pretty good. Oh my God. Mike in the Stephen Hawking's video. Oh. Mike was over there playing with his little pyramid thing, right? And he's getting power from the power line over there in a very mysterious way. And he's creating UFOs to come visit him, or I don't know if it's the plasmoids in the sky. He's definitely got some funny stuff going on there, man. But the greatest thing, man, is the Stephen Hawking videos that they've been putting out. Let me see if I have one real quick, or I'll pull it up. We did one where he was. I told him he was running from the cops, man, and they're about to get him. Oh, it's freaking hilarious, man. Oh, it's so great. Oh, Mike's out there with a big old giant jetpack on there flying away from the cops, man. I tried to do it in the video that they had. I couldn't get the head centered on there right. Mike's a great guy, man. Oh, yeah, but the Stephen Hawking videos, man, of him and like doing the skateboard stuff. And then they had one of the, I just watched it, they put on there for the monster trucks. That was awesome. Oh, man. Huh. That was really, really cool. Also, on Monday, we're going to be talking a little RF. Just so you know, Yanni, I know you mentioned it to dispatch out there, and he related it to me. So we're going to talk a little RF and how it works, and then what we see in the coil, which part is not RF and which part is RF. And I want to kind of do 30, 40 minutes on that. So I'm going to put together some videos and stuff like that to show you a couple examples of each. And it's kind of easier to understand that way, because sometimes you can get radiation out of the coil, sometimes just heavy RF, sometimes just different kind of frequencies and stuff out there you're not used to. Some of the stuff is not good to be around, and you should know when that stuff happens. So yeah, dispatch mentioned it to me that you wanted to see that. So yeah, definitely take care of that for you, man. We'll do that on Monday. And I have a list of stuff that I wanted to do. I've been pulling it together. So I just want to make sure I got to you on that one. Dispatch been watching out for you, man. He asked a lot of questions in the chat and just kind of comes over and hangs out with me and tells me what's going on, man. So right on, brother. Thank you, Paul, for doing that, man. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm excited about these coils, guys. Right on, brother. Right on. I'm excited about these new coils and what they're going to do. I like the fact that we're getting the epoxy on there good. I may start to offer number 2 coils with epoxy on them, and it all depends on how I can set those up and if they are easy to do or if they require a lot of maintenance. The coils that I'm doing like these, this is a lot of maintenance, guys, because what'll happen is if your motor's too fast, everything goes up towards the top. And you can see a little bit of a ridge here. It goes and then gives it a mohawk, okay? And it'll constantly pull up, and I can't get my speed low enough. I need to order a different motor with gearing in it, because you need this thing going like the tortoise, you know what I'm saying? You need to go on super slow in order to get this look, okay? And even now I can see it's lumpy. So, but for my first round one, man, it's going to be awesome. So Sean did these, man, and he did the round Tesla coil. By all means, that's his invention out there. First one to ever do it. Made it exactly the way I'm making it now. But yeah, all credit to him, man. But these things right here, this is the ticket, man. Look, it looks like a little candy. You see the red in there? That's a wire. And then the green and stuff, man, has that nice green color to it. The nice sheen on it. Yeah, dude, this is beautiful, man. So I'm just gonna run it, up to 48 volts through them. That's it. The motor that I use on the widener is 12 volts, and I bought one with a gearing on it, but it's very bad. It stalls out on me, so I need a heavier gearing that doesn't stall, that'll push through it. So a higher torque, more gearing in it. That's what I need. So I'll show you this one again, man. This one's awesome. So sorry for the wires hanging on sides. I got to push them in, but put the little inserts on the end, cut off a little bit of it. You know what I mean? But the actual sheen on it and everything came out beautiful. Like I said, dude, this thing is darker in person than you see right here. It's got like a blood red to it, and you can't see that on camera because there's too much light in here. But these things are cool, man. Hey, real quick, I just want to tell you guys tonight, I'll be on the Traveling Fools channel, man. Hopefully Bernie will join me on there, man. And we're going to go over there and talk to them. I don't know if James is going to give us an update or anything, but man, it's a really good time over there, man. We have a great time laughing and hanging out. For those of you who've been there, man, you understand. It's always fun. It's always entertaining. They get out to talk to everybody, man. They have a call-in number. If you have a question for anybody who's there on the panel, by all means, you can call in. Dude, it's a fun show. So tonight at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, I'll be over hanging out there, and then Joe's going to come over and hang out with me, man. He'll be done with all his stuff by then. So that's going to be awesome. That's tonight at 7:30. Also, check out Gutter's Pub, man. She does some awesome work out there. Hangs out with us on the Traveling Fools channel as well. And yeah, it's really cool lady, man. It's really fun to hang out with. So yeah, check those things out, man, tonight. It's going to be fun, man. I look forward to it every week. Yeah, that's what I need. Kind of like a you know how a lathe motor works? When you get it in that real low chugging speed, that's what I need. And that's what I have to get in the gearing of the next motor. So I'm gonna have to research it a little better and see what other people use. It just has to go real slow. And the thing is, if I do it on my coils, I have to do it at 4 or 5 at a time. So it works out, you know what I mean, for the building wise on how much it costs. So if I have to constantly tend to something with not lacquer, with the epoxy on it and keep moving stuff around or put it back in the right place, it's not really cost effective for me. But since they're cylinders and they're not geometry shapes, yeah, it should be pretty easy. So yeah, hopefully it is. And then I can offer another thing out there in case people want that, because I know some people hit me up about it. Cool thing is, man, whatever the coil winding is, the PLA is, we can kind of tint the color to match that a little bit. That's going to be pretty awesome. Yeah. Yeah, like a worm gear. Yeah. Just all it has to do is, all it has to do is go slow. That's it. And mine goes too fast. It's like a gear or two too high. So right on, brother. I'm looking forward to it, man. It sounds like you got some stuff in there that I would definitely need to look at and see how it works. Yeah. Right on, man. So yeah, we're doing that. And everything out there is getting better, man. We've been selling that cap bank and that ZVS a lot, man. People tend to like that one. I think version 2 of the cap bank, I'll put a couple more caps on there and give you guys a little bit more ability to switch things. The other one works perfect for the coil, by the way. If you put on that coil that I sell out there, it works absolutely perfectly. It's designed for it. But I think people may want a bigger one. So I think that's one of the next things I need to do is add a few extra caps to it and do it out there. By the way, that's a Master Evo design. And Ian hooked us up with that the first time, built us our first one. And I want to thank both of them. We were able to rebuild that circuit so that all the you out there who purchase it can go out there and just enjoy it. Not have to, worry about a whole lot. You get to put it in there and replicate some of the stuff that I've been doing. Another thing that I'm doing in this is we're going to do the one-wire energy. And I know I kind of have a bunch of videos on it, and I've done some work on it, but I haven't done, how do I say this, individual experiments in a very clean way where we go through, describe it, build it, finish it, kind of like how science likes to do it, kind of like Plasma Channel likes to do it, go through, give you the whole thing. I think that's what I'm going to do. It's definitely worth more recognition than I think I put out there, or I've given effort to make it look better. It's just real raw data is what I did. So I want to do that and get that straightened out because that right there is a huge, huge thing. I want to start a thing in my backyard with the plants and show you guys how they grow faster. I think that's going to be worthwhile as well. I know some of you out there have already done it. So, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be good, man. There's a lot of benefits to that one wire energy that I think a lot of people need to look at. And there's also some cool things that come up with granite and how things spark on it and how things work actually with electricity. You've all seen the light bulb out there from the Egypt one where they show you the hieroglyph. And just recently, a guy came out with a video on that and he showed you how he thought it worked. Well, I can show you how it really works. And, with that one wire energy, I'll show you the exact energy they're getting and the exact reason why and how it works that way. And I wish I could pull the atmospheric energy if I can get up that high, and I don't ever think I can. I'd probably sit on a mountain to do it. I wish I could show that. Now you could trick it and go under a power line or something, but then they come after you after a while. I'm really not interested in having the government come after me for anything. So we'll be tapping into their stuff. You know what I mean? I know it's technically not the government, but trust me, that's who's showing up. Yeah, you can light up light bulbs, gas tubes, if you put them next to your high voltage power lines, and it don't even have to be next to the big top one, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, not that I would tell anybody to go do that. You can also use your CB radio to turn on gas lights. This is the regular tube, the fluorescent tubes. You can use a CB radio to do it. And you can absolutely turn those things on. Anything with a super high RF, you could do it. Tesla's original Tesla coils are beautiful for doing it. They put out a ton of RF, so turn on RF over there, excites the gas. The stuff that we work with is not quite a Tesla coil. It's an Odin coil. Let's call it an Odin coil. And it's because it's no longer a bipolar Tesla coil. It has a single pole on it. And I think people argue with me on this, but I'll just tell you the reason. The number one coil matches where the number two coil matches to start. That's it. It can't form a secondary field under it. So when you look at a bipolar Tesla coil, it means that one side's probably normally short and the other side's really long, and the primary sits right here. Okay. And you have this much on this side and this big amount on this side. And you can adjust the primary back and forth across it, and it'll give you a voltage on both sides. And that's basically a bipolar Tesla coil. It's got a north and a south on it. Okay. And you can identify that with a magnet finder, and it tells you north and south. You can do that all day long. The way I build these things is the number one coil and number two coil are like this. There's no gap on the other side of it. It can't form a secondary field. It can't form a south pole on it. It'll give you north all day long. So it's only going on one side. It cannot form the other side to it because it don't allow it to do it. So there's a little difference in the coils that we use here in the way that we built them. And most Tesla coils, to be very honest with you, if you look at them, they got this much hanging off the bottom. And that's because you're putting your wrapping probably about, so many winds up, probably about an inch up on your Tesla coil. So you will form a south pole on it. It will definitely form a north and south pole when you put it up this high. Mine are all the way down at the bottom. Bit different. Yeah, bit different. Kind of like your 90-degree Tesla coil when you go to put it in that way. There's no south field on it. There just isn't. That's why all the stuff goes underneath of it, because you're not pushing a south field. Once you start putting up that thing to make it a bipolar in any way, then you get stuff going down to the bottom. That's why people get confused. I'll be very honest with you. A lot of people get confused on that. And you just got to work it out what's going on and why that field isn't there sometimes. Yeah. Oh, man. Nice. Yeah, those bipolar Tesla coils, man, I'm working on one right now, and I don't want to show anything until I'm ready. but it's a big, long winding number 2, man, and it's got several primaries on it. And I just wanted to see what happened. It's like playing a pipe organ, okay? We're going to push the buttons on it and turn each one on, and then turn 2 on at the same time or 3 on at the same time on the same secondary. We'll just have 3 separate primaries. Now, it may just blow every circuit apart. To be very honest with you. It may just be an expensive toy. But I think it's going to give me a little bit different ratios in it for resonance. And that's what's important to me. So if you put them at the equal distance apart, can we get that ratio to work? That's what the interesting part to this is. So, yeah, I just want you guys to understand what I'm trying to do here. I'm looking at a harmonic ratio in the Tesla coil and how it builds out in a bipolar fashion with multiple primaries on it. So you'll be able to go and look at it and go, okay, we know the distance between each one. So this is the harmonic he's looking for in the arch for each one of them as we go. So we can see what he's trying to pull off. Some of these things are simply, how do I say it? It's like a lock. You have to hit one resonant frequency, then a second resonant frequency, and then another resonant frequency, and then another one. And we can make this thing like a lock that can tell you exactly which frequencies you need to do stuff. Now, I'll say it like this. We're doing the RAV and we have that self-organized plasma, right? Well, 94 kilohertz, you know what I mean, to 98 kilohertz, to 202 kilohertz. If you understand what I'm trying to say here, you're just setting that primary a little different in order to get each field, but each field itself has its own zone in the donut, right? Or in the sphere, however you want to say it to yourself, has each phase in it, and then it grows to the next one and the next one, each one of them having that radiation field that goes in there. It's like a magnetic radiation that has to go in between them. So it separates them. So it's what we all talk about when we show all the symbolism and everything else on the channels, but rarely do we ever get the chance to build something like it. And that's what I want to do. Okay, I want to build something different, unique, and it has everything to do with how these things work out in ratios, how they work out as far as the frequency goes in, and exactly what we're building out. I did pick out a couple of oscilloscopes, and I don't know if they're going to be available when I'm able to purchase them. And they're old school oscilloscopes. We all know and love what Sheila does out there with the oscilloscope and showing us how the ratios work. Well, I learned how to do that, and I'm going to get some old oscilloscopes and do that as well, because I want to build out the big flower, man, the flower of life, and I want to see exactly what frequencies they are and how it works. So we're also, man, we got a lot of cool stuff that has to do with geometry on how we're building stuff. Some things I can talk about, some things I'm not going to, some things that I think when we do our next RAV presentation, I want Bernie there with us. There's a lot of things that coincide with what he does in order to make this stuff and what we do. And I think when you can combine those, we really have something special here. I mean, it's like next level stuff, like stuff that most humans shouldn't be able to figure out. And I think between what we're doing and what Bernie's doing, man, we'll have it. So when we do that next presentation, man, I want Bernie part of it, man. I think we're onto something really hot here. And I won't say anything more on it other than that, because I think there's some secrets in there, and I don't want to give any away. But it all has to do with the aspects that we're working on. And I work on a lot of resonance stuff, so I understand, a lot of that. I know Bernie works on all the chemical stuff, man, and breaking down all the different things and how they're actually supposed to be done, so that you can, let's just say, combine them into different things later on. And then we work on the resonant fields and how those work out in each portion. So, and then, Joe and I go into theories all the time on how compression actually matters a ton in these things. And I'm not talking about vacuum chamber compression. That is minor compared to the compression we're getting in these. And then, we also kind of talk about a little bit about when you take the compression and decompress it. And I think if you guys watched Bob Grenier today, you saw him talking about the motor, or excuse me, I shouldn't call it a motor. It is like a jet stream that he was talking about pushing out. And it has everything to do with how we're building these things and the pulse nature of them and how it flows through one side of the circuit and then the other and then forces it out. There's very specific portions in there that you have to know, specific magnetic fields that have to be put into that. And it is something that's extremely dangerous if you do it wrong. And I mean extremely dangerous if you do it wrong. This is not something that everybody should do. I'll just say it that way. I've built a couple of these things before. And when you start putting resonance in spherical form, or excuse me, in a cylinder form, it matches what you're doing in the laser form, and it starts to create beams of energy that are not so kind if you do it in the wrong way. Sometimes you get plasma out the other side. Sometimes you get, some destructive stuff, something that you'll definitely have the MPs down there at your door picking it up. Yeah, you don't want that. Being that I live between two Air Force bases, man, they find out that stuff pretty quick. So they don't care for that. So, but anyway, I just want to let you guys know, yeah, we are doing some work on this stuff, and it's really coming out cool. The RAV, we haven't forgot about it, man. As a matter of fact, that's what I was telling you with Bernie. It's going to the next level, and we figured it out. And I think Bernie's figured out a lot more than most of us have, and I think it's exciting. So, yeah, that's kind of fun, man. Don't get me wrong; it's always fun to fire some stuff off you're not supposed to, but you don't want to live where I do and do it. Go in the middle of the desert and do it. Don't do it in the little community I'm in. That would be bad. Anyway, I've always had some misfires, man. So that's all right. What's up, Joe? Joe's out there hanging out, man, doing his thing today. Right on, brother. Yeah, hey, Joe, check it out, man. These things came out great. I probably need a second one. Huh, lonely. No, it came out great, man. I saw the rod in that one. And this one came out real good too, man. So both of them are done, man. Yeah, we got some cool looking ones, man. Everything came out good. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I got my wire in. I can't wait to start winding these coils, man. It's gonna be fun. I held back for the last probably 2 years in building these things. So it's long overdue. Yeah, I got quite a few of them over there sitting on the bench that I was looking at that I had already built. And I did notice if you don't have them stretched out, they suck. They don't run the fields right. But we can do, maybe we can run the magnets in there. That'll work out every time. But I want to do more than that. I want to show a Cashmere field. How to say this? Cashmere as a plane of energy that compresses a secondary field inside of it that builds enough friction to create a high voltage field inside of it. If you can understand that, just understand I want to do this 1,500 times in that coil. That's what I'm looking for. Not looking for anything normal. Okay, we'll do the normal test, and not what I'm those are really not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that Cashmere effect as an energy field that I have created in other coils. That's what I want to see in this one. That's what I'm driving for. I want to use the temperature differential in the room and the coil in order to change the temperature in the room. Those are two special things that I want to do in those geometry coils. And that's going to make a very big deal when you start doing two geometry coils in tandem with each other, like a dialing sequence. So just understand where I'm going with this, guys. We're going all the way. That's what I want to see. You know what I mean? I've seen other coils, and they look like they're going to do it, and I've heard stories, and I'm going to verify. So I'm excited to do it, man, and hopefully for those people who built them, they'll get on board, and they'll, you know what I mean, maybe help out or give some positive feedback or something like that. If they don't want to participate at all, that's absolutely fine as well. Then we'll invite people different on that don't do these kind of coils that just like to talk about them, what they get out of them. I know, by the way, we did a video a little while ago for 8th Center, and he showed his organites on there. Guys, those things are beautiful. I don't know if you had a chance to check those things out. Those things are beautiful, man. He does beautiful work. In the description of that video was his Facebook, so you guys can check that out and see what he charges for these things and when you could get them and stuff like that. But he does a real nice job in layering everything in there, and he'll tell you all about it. He does a nice, beautiful outside. It has a nice shine on it. Beautiful look on them. Joe and I were kind of taken back, man, at what we were looking at. Absolutely awesome. And I love the fact that his pyramids, by the way, are more the colors of a pyramid and not some fancy, artwork on there. I like the pyramid on those organites. We have a couple other people, man, that watch the show that does organites, and I put out the hand to them if they wanted to come on and show them and share them. I'd absolutely have you on, and you could tell the folks exactly what they do. Awesome. I'm intrigued by those things, man, just how they work. I know a lot of people understand it, but there's a lot of energy out there that we don't always get in contact with. And when you can and you find out a way to do it, yeah, it's next level, man. So that's why I love having those on there, man. Yeah, beautiful craftsmanship in those things, man. Very, very cool. So, do I have any high volume, low pressure gas tube fields orbiting the coils? I have gas tubes. I even have mercury tubes. I would like we saw Sheila come out on Bernie's channel when she did the interview on there, and she had this tube that was multiple gases in it. If anybody knows where to pick that thing up, just please let me know. Okay. Drop me a line. I'd love to have those, by the way. Had multiple gases in it. It's just a tube. There's nothing else to it. There's no wires in there. There's no anything. It's just a gas tube. That's what I want. Because then I want to show the real way you make that one wire energy work in the pyramid thing and the hieroglyphics. So yeah, 8th Center's on that video. By the way, on Facebook, he has his site on there where you guys should check everything out. So yeah, how that works? Well, all the gas has to do is get excited. So you don't need any of the other stuff. Okay. That's what's so cool about it. You think about it, you get a Tesla coil, they come together with kits and they have just these gas tubes out there, right? You get helium, xenon, whatever, a bunch of different ones, right? And you're able to light them up. Why? Because just exciting gas. Well, the little snake comes out not in that there's a wire in there, but when you have mercury in the tube, as you put your finger on it, it goes around where your finger is, okay? And it'll make a snake shape. It'll shape the actual gas inside of it. That's what we're looking for here, okay? That's what that tube's for. And it'll actually pull out, you can hook this thing just into the actual granite of the pyramid. Once you get that thing wet, the granite wet, and I have the energy in the base, dude, I could just put the wire to it and start it up. I don't need all the extra stuff. It just comes through the water itself. A lot of people out there have seen the one wire energy know that already. The trip is when you could see it done like they did it and show in that style. I know what they're doing, man. They got to, we build these coils. You should realize something. They show those things, they look like AC flybacks because that's how they're building them, but they don't build them with copper like us. They can build them with gold, they can build them with silver. You know what I mean? This is really interesting in how they do it. And when you look at the techniques of how to seal things, it comes very apparent. Like, think about this. I mean, what are these coils here? You see all the individual lines, right? Well, it's just an AC flyback. I know we call it a Tesla coil and a bipolar one, but it's an AC flyback and how they're wound. That's exactly what they are. You see the individual lines in there, and you see that where you put the wire in. That's what they are. You don't have to understand much more than that, except for the fact that we're creating a magnetic field out of it. Not necessarily that difficult. The more magnetism you get out of it, the better they work in what they're trying to do. You don't need the Baghdad battery to get the energy, guys, out of it. When you get to Egypt and stuff like that, you simply have to pull it right out of the atmosphere. You see, there's a lot of energy already on the top of the pyramid because it's so high in the air. And they have that little thing sitting up there, little antenna looking thing. So it could just, be like a lightning thing so that the lightning will hit it and disperse and go into the ground. But what they're not telling you is when you had the, what are they, Linden jars or whatever they had up there? I forget the name of them. And the guy did the experiment. He was getting energy out of it. And why was he getting it? Well, it was very simple. Atmospheric energy would produce the energy in them. So when you put a top on that thing, it'll pull the energy right out of the atmosphere and bring it right down. And if the granite's wet or the actual limestone is wet, what happens? It travels directly into the ground. Now the air, all the stuff in the atmosphere goes directly right into the water table in the ground. What happens? Plants grow faster, they grow bigger. It changes the dynamic of the energy you're getting. You see, you didn't need a whole lot of this other stuff. Every time one of those obelisks is wet and the energy goes through it, you could light up gas all day long next to it. And in some of these chambers that they had in the other pyramids, they were making plenty of vapors and gases. Okay. They knew exactly how to do it. Understanding that, now you can understand the pyramids a little better. Yeah, they are producing energy in there. But is it the AC and DC you're thinking of? God, no. God, no. It's not at all. They're producing what you would get out of the center of your Tesla coil, which is the one-wire energy. That's what they're producing. It's very straightforward in how it works. You just pull energy right out of the atmosphere, you bring it in, you put it right into the water because it'll go in there very easily, and it'll produce a field around it. Why? Because it's mostly a radiant energy that's being pulled out of it, just like Tesla tells you, he pulls radiant energy from the sky and brings it in. Now, capacitance is a little different because the water itself will act as a self-capacitance inside the granite. You're not looking at the granite as piezoelectricity right away because then you first have to build the energy to go to it. Then you can start working it once you get the frequency in there, and then it starts to oscillate at the frequency of the actual crystal. That's the key, man. So if I could show you guys this and getting that gas bulb, oh, you're going to love it. It's absolutely going to change the way you see ancient cultures and how they work because they weren't on the same energy system we are. We're in a destructive energy that we use. They were in a constructive energy that they used. They're completely different from one another. They work completely differently. So, yeah, I mean, this is the coolest thing that can come out of it because Tesla did the tower the same way. He pulled atmospheric energy out of it, put it right down to the water table and worked the same way. Did it in Colorado. Also did it in New York, man, when he built his big tower, his Wardenclyffe. I'm telling you, man, the energy's different. It goes through things. You won't be able to put it in a, what do they call those things? The cages. They just won't work. Faraday cage will not work on this stuff. It goes right through it. Goes right through it. Well, it will not hold anything. Even lead will only hold it back for so long. Mineral oil only hold it back for so long. This energy is awesome. So, yeah, it's one of the reasons I wanted to do it. As soon as I could find some nice thick discs, man, I've been going to the granite yard, find some nice thick throwaways, man. I had the guys keeping them for me. Then he can just make round it out for me, and then I could put the concrete in between. I'll show you that AC flyback they built in Egypt where they said they were getting 80,000 volts. I can get more than that out of there. More than that. Because the little black box on it under it, I knew exactly what it was. And now that we do that, we can show that experiment all day. That absolutely does work. Contradictory to everything everybody else says and call it lazy science. Well, it's just science you really didn't look into. I know exactly what's going on there. So that's pretty cool, man. Let's see. Small seal tubes have a similar effect, but they're hard to film, so small. Yeah, I mean, look, I could cheapen the process by using a different one, but I kind of want it to look just like the one that they had. You know what I'm saying? I could use a tube and put different gases in there and show you what they do, and that'd be cool and all. But is it going to be the same as if I had the correct bulb in there? You know what I mean? That's kind of the difference in it. I could show you what it actually does. So, yeah, I love some of this stuff, man. I love figuring this stuff out. I want to get it done right. And that way, I want to be able to go over to Liz's channel where she does all the ancient Atlantis stuff, and she does all the stuff for the Egypt, and she's talking about the stuff that's underneath the pyramids and everything like that. Really awesome lady, man. I want to be able to go over to the channel and show her how this stuff actually is working and do it in a way that matches what she talks about. So I kind of want to get it done with the granite and everything the right way. So those are going to be pretty awesome, man. I don't know exactly how I want to pull off each experiment like that, but I know exactly the parts I need. So start gathering those as we go. But guys, I'm excited, man. Let's see. Found a break in the plasma and small tube, 12-inch away from the secondary. Very cool. To see the field line. Let's see real quick. Did you put that on video already? I go to his channel right now. See if you put it out there. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me rewind it. Check this out. Look at that green in there. That's awesome. Dennis, this has got to be on the AC part, right? Yeah, that is really cool. I love the different colors, man. Yeah, to the AC side. Yeah, that's awesome. It's all the same gas in all the tubes. He's just hitting it with the AC out of it, so it changes the color. That's cool. Dude, you can see like it looks like they're being hit at the top with some kind of a spark, and then they change colors right away. Let's see. Is that just the energy going, or is there like a tube there? Oh, I see it. Hold on. That's one of those gas tubes. Oh, he's got a gas tube on his side. Yeah, look at that. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can't pause it for you. Yeah, you can see it right there. So you see the right at the top of those two little bulbs on the left and right, there's that little line. Well, that's actually the gas being excited that's connected to that bar in the back. And it looks like a spark gap in between them. And then it goes over and excites those, and then the energy goes down to the bottom of the light bulb and excites the big light bulbs next to it. Dude, this is cool, Dennis. This is really cool. Let's see. It says previous video shows a better setup. Oh yeah, we saw this one, and those are the tubes that he's using to excite it. So we'll go back now that we know that he's using those. You see them right there at the top. It's just so cool. All right. Right on, brother. That's totally awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. He's got a Hitman coil, man. He's got pink and black attack going on his coil. Absolutely, man. Yeah, there you go. The old man builds with the ZVS and the Variac. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nice. Ever tried mercury glass, wondering if it'd be safe enough inside the glass for things? I have mercury gas light bulbs that have that little spot in the center that takes a super lot of high voltage to get them started. I have those, and those work great on there as well. Right on, brother. Yeah, we did a lot of experiments with light bulbs, man. When you put the coil inside the coil, oh, yeah, get ready for something, man. It mimics a certain field and how it works and builds out. So it builds out a lot of different radiation out of there. Yeah, it's something interesting. And we did the Edwin Gray, man. I don't think a lot of people recognize what I was trying to do there. But when you put a coil inside of a coil and you run them with a DC flyback or an AC flyback for that matter on each one of the coils, then you start up a Tesla coil next to it, it changes the energy to a very specific high voltage AC, which if you wanted to run an AC motor at that point, you could. Let's just put it that way. There's enough energy in there to run that AC motor. And because the coil's inside of the secondary coil, it puts enough of magnetic pressure behind it to run it. I don't think I was very specific about saying that, but that's what's going on. That's the Edwin Gray effect. That's how he's building out that tube. So if you wanted to know about that, that's how you do it. You'll find that video that I did. It'll teach you a lot. Oh, right on, brother. Thank you very much for that. I will. A lot of people like this stuff, man. That's why I want to make some of the stuff more authentic, like we do Egypt stuff. That way it translates easier. People can see, oh, now I understand it. You know what I mean? Versus if it doesn't really look like it. So, yeah, I'm excited, guys. Really excited. I'm actually thinking about Wednesdays, man. We might make that a when Sean comes on, or if we have a special guest on for Wednesday. Other than that, I'm gonna spend the time in my lab, or my excuse me, my little studio thing I built out in my garage, and I'm just going to build. I want to just do a lot of time building here in the next 2 months. I want to put out a huge foundation of information from now until Tesla Tech. And the only way to do that is to put in the time to build everything. So as we go through the geometry coils, we go through the Rodin coil, as we build more, we'll learn more. As we go through, some of these different shaped Tesla coils, dude, I want to do it all so that we have all the information. And I want to get out there, as much as I possibly can, you know what I mean? And just build. Lately, man, I've been doing the show and not been doing a lot of building. And I want to change that. I finally got to the point where, you know what I mean? I got my system down so I can get customers' orders out so that they can get Tesla coils that they can use. But then I want to build all this other stuff, man, that's on my list. So as soon as I can do that, man, we're going to move forward on all of this. Give me just a second. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to do that, and then we can move forward on all this, man. Yeah, it's going to be pretty much, I'm going to be a slave to I don't know that you meant it that way, but maybe I read the word wrong. But I'm going to be a slave in my garage for quite a while, guys. Quite a while. I'm going to solve everything there is to this stuff as much as I possibly can. Yeah. Batteries. Funny. I don't think everybody understood that. And I'll just say this about that video. When you're showing over Unity, you're going to have to show beyond a reasonable doubt that it works. Let's just say it that way, okay? That doesn't mean that you use batteries. It doesn't mean you use a cat bank. It means that you use those things as a starter and then you pull them out. That's what it means. If you have over Unity, you have no problem doing that. And that just is what it is. That's my definition of it. Your definition may be different, but that's mine. So that's just the way I see it. You have to do over and above so that people understand that. I mean, think about the effect on somebody watching, okay? And I'll say it this way. If you're watching the video and I'm over there and I show you them running a system, but you see these batteries over there and you're going, okay, maybe you're 50-50, right? I think a lot of people get that. I get a lot of comments to that in the comment section. There's always 50-50 about it when you have that in there. But imagine showing the video and then you remove that stuff and it self-runs. Then everybody who watches the video is like, okay, now we're there. You know what I mean? Now we can clearly see it. There's no doubt. You did something unique in a very specific way to make it very clear that this is what we're doing. That's all I was trying to say. It's all Joe was trying to say. It's all we're trying to get out there. Now, there's certain effects and stuff that I want stuff plugged in to batteries all the times. Absolutely, I do. Yeah, there is. Because I'm not looking for the over Unity effect. So I want something different. That's fine. I'll just tell you that up front. As long as we understand it, we're good to go. That was all that video was. It wasn't a hit piece on anybody, guys. Let's be honest with you. And, for what it's worth, man, it never was supposed to be anything like that. And I'm very sorry for anybody who got their feelings hurt. They thought it was addressed to them. It really wasn't. It just wasn't. It was very clearly just to get into a product, into a conversation that people are very uncomfortable with. Let's just put it that way. There's a lot of people uncomfortable with that conversation. But a lot of people who watch these kind of channels, they want that conversation. And that's where I was taking it from. They want to be able to challenge it. And they want your answer. When I did the gravity flyer, it was constantly that way. Why do you think that way? Why is it that way? Why is it not this way? Why are you using that material instead of this material? And you constantly have to explain yourself, which is fine because there's specific reasons you do certain things. Okay. All good. I figure as long as you put it out there, you're okay. So hopefully that ends that whole thing, because we're going to go into a thing where we're going to build it all. That's what's going to be good. The one part that I really want to do a lot more work on, it's getting a lot more protection, is that RAV. So much more there. So much more there. I think as soon as we show the cashmere effect in the geometry coils, I think people will understand why we build them. It's not for the small effects, okay? It's for the other effects, the room temperature changing, okay? That's what people want to see. When you go over and, like I did with my Rodin coil, I go over, I put it connected to the center of my Tesla coil, and I pull the wire out, and I'm showing you the wire physically out of it, not attached, and that light's still on. That's what people want to see. People want to see stuff like that. They get excited about stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff that I want to show, because there's very specific reasons why those things happen. And it has to do with oscillation and how it's working, which part's working in saturation, what the room temperature is. So much more to go into there. So thank you for that, man. Yeah, we're going to become a fairly big channel soon. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. With all the testing that we're going to be doing, it's going to tie into so many other channels that you can't help but grow. You know what I mean? We're getting close to 9,000. And if you think about it, a little over a year ago, we were less than 1,000 on our channel. So we have pretty good growth in about, say, a year and a quarter. And I'm hoping we're going to have a massive growth after this. But we're putting out all the stops, man. Like I said, geometry coils, Rodin coils. We have a pulse motor. We have a Pedini motor on the list, okay? I have my gravity flyer making a comeback so I can show you some more stuff in that and how that field actually works, and how the compression of the null zone works. Because I think there's some confusion on that, so I have to show that. All those things are coming up, man. And then we got the RAV out there where we're building, I want to say this, plasma in coherent spheres that are separated from each other by a radiation zone that's inside of it. It's like a magnetic radiation zone that's built around it. When you want to talk about plasmoid structure, that's where it is. We're also going to show open air experiments on it. I think I figured out a way to do this where we can put atmospheric pressure at the top of a chamber, and we put the magnetic field at the bottom and rotate it, and be able to show something like lightning in a closed area. And it's basically a 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot fish tank that we enclose the top, and we create atmospheric pressure at the top. Okay. And we have a little bit of fog up there. We have it dry down towards the bottom. Okay. When it adds a little bit of moisture to it, we're going to show a cycle and then see if we get lightning in between it. That's what's going to be cool. That's where this whole RAV thing's going, because I realized the relationship between a plasmoid, the RAV, ball lightning, all of it works on the same principle. It all has to do with an anode cathode effect. And it's all about the distance you keep in between them and how things actually work when the two zones come into each other and create a spherical form. And that'll start it and let it just build over top of itself till it's a sphere. That's what it is. It's always been that. It shows up in different forms, but that's what it's been from the very beginning. I know a lot of people see it and they get lost in how they actually put each experiment together. But I think it's very important to understand that they are the same thing, that it is the same relationship. The same energy produces all of them. A lot of these effects happens around a volcano. And you probably go, well, what does a volcano have to do with it? It's structuring the carbon itself in such a way that it creates the cathode in the situation where this thing can work up in the higher atmosphere and create the plasmoids that it needs to. It's all about how you can spin that field, how each side comes together and spins. Once you get it to spin, you can create the plasmoid. You can create that ball of lightning. They're only different because of where their environment is. It has nothing to do with the energy or anything like that. It has to do with the environmental condition changing the energy. That's the difference in it. That's what you specifically have to understand. It's not about the input of energy. That can be the same. It will change based on the environment. It's profound when you really look at it, because everything's built out of the same energy on Earth. I mean, you couldn't tell anybody any different. It's all the same energy. But now when you look at it that way, you go, okay, if all the energy is consistent, what did change in the process? Well, your environmental condition changed. That's it. That's what changed. Open air, closed air, confined system, whether it's in a cave, whether it's not in a cave, anything around it, whether you pressurized it, and whether you created it inside of a crystal like Joe did, all of it happens in nature. All of it's done with the same energy that goes into it. It's the environmental condition that changes it. If you want to make a thruster out of a RAV, you can. Why? Because you're changing the environmental condition of it. All you did is create the chamber in a way that it discharges the plasma in a very specific way. That's all you did. Okay? A lot of the stuff you use to start it up is all the same. That's why we can go from an AC flyback and multiple ones to a bipolar Tesla coil and still work the same. We didn't change the driving circuit. We didn't change how we drove the energy to it. We didn't change the pulses in it. We simply changed the environmental condition. That's important. That's where the answers are. A lot of these experiments have the same exact energy power source. It's how you manipulate it to get what you want. That's it. That's where the geometry matters. Now we can start talking about where you put the magnetic field, where you're going to put the compression at, how you're going to compress the compression of that, how you're going to squeeze it further in order to make it really blast out of there. Because if you look at the RAV going like this, just remember this. One's going real bright, then it goes not bright, and the other one goes. Then this one goes, then this one goes, then this one goes, and this one goes. Well, what if I want a thruster? What am I going to do? Yeah, I'm going to take that same effect, right? This one's going heavy, blasting. Then it pulls back in, and this one's blasting. Then this one pulls back in, this one blasting. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay? That's exactly how you make a thruster. That's how you're going to do it. But it's going to happen so fast in the switching systems, my hands right now couldn't show it to you. You know what I mean? I'll lose focus and not be able to do it right. You know what I mean? Like this. And then it's going to blast off. Why? Because I understood to change the environmental conditions right by using the correct technique to build it. That's why. That's what it does. It's understanding how that RAV worked. Now you can create the pressure that comes out the back like a thruster. This has been on Sean's mind for quite a while, guys. He saw it before I did, that's for sure. But then again, he saw the RAV before all of us. The guy's genius. I mean, no other way to say it. That's what he is. But he knew it was there, and it's up to the rest of us to find it. And it's ironic how energy actually flows and what people don't understand about it. It flows around the cathode. It flows around the anode. What does that mean? It means it's already putting out what looks like a laser. Once you put a coherent laser going out to a area where you can put it into a carbon structure, and that carbon structure can create resonance, what are you going to end up doing? Well, you're going to end up creating what is the beginnings, and I say the beginnings, of what could be a sun. That's it. That's how that energy gets there. You're creating a node. In that node, it builds out. It no longer needs a shell once it's already built. It just needs the energy feed stream from the original place, and it'll start working and create its own. And it'll build and build and build and build. They continue to do this throughout the entire universe. One system to the next, they're all tied into one another. They all work together. They all feed energy into each one individually, but all of the sum of the whole fills up back to the original source. It's no different than when you create a node in a Tesla coil and you put 30 different number twos out there and they all light up, but then they all go back to turn on the original one. Why? Because you're just loaning them the energy to it, and then it gives it right back to the center one. As long as the center one is perfectly done right. There's other ways to do it. Guys have shown that take a transistor, run the wire right out of the top of your Tesla coil. You can turn that transistor right on. Yeah, well, what happens when I put 30 transistors out there? I got 30 of them on. I can make 30 Slayer exciter circuits. Just out of the center of my Tesla coil. You put another 30 out there. Think about that. When you put those things closer together, they build a higher volume of energy between all of them. Once they build a higher amount of energy between all of them, now they can return to the source and create a higher volume of energy in the primary running circuit itself. Think about how I just said that. Each one of them sitting next to each other produces more energy at the same resonant frequency that they allow for the energy to go higher in all of those than the original put out. Therefore, a return to the center of it would just be starting another coil to it. It wouldn't see the difference like we see it, and you could turn off the primary power. It's interesting because that's the way it works. Resonance is the absolute key to it. How that builds out and how it makes geometry is amazing. It's one of the secrets of the universe. It's one of the ones that nobody focuses on. It's one of the ones that's wide open that we're going to absolutely blast the living daylights out of the doors on that thing, man. And we're going to just fling them wide open. I think we're well suited as a channel to do that because we understand what's going on with the coils and stuff in a way that most people wouldn't. Most people just see them a lot differently than the way I see them. Maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe it's a really good thing. But we're going to change the way people really see things. Because when you start running things, people talk about a runaway. Well, how do you get a runaway? What is that? People talk about it sometimes, but how do you get it? You can only have a runaway when you're in resonance. I don't know if you knew that or not. The only way to get a runaway in a motor is a resonance. You say, well, why is that? Because you're matching the resonance of another one. And once they all start to match, they start going to uniform and create their own energy in there. Once that energy is on for a very long time, it then allows the system to run on it alone. You can't just turn it on for 5 seconds. You can't turn it on for 10. You can't turn it on for an hour. What you realize after a little while, when you have these things running for the day, that things start to increase the energy level by quite a bit as it sits there. Because it doesn't work on the same principle of AC and DC that we think of. It works on the principle of the resonance itself. It's like a beacon that's here. Every time it goes off, it puts another wave out from it, and another one, and another one. But they expand a little as they go out, right? They expand a little, expand a little, expand a little, expand a little. Well, that's what resonance does. But it does it in 360 degrees. So when you create the node, that's what you're doing. it's an energy saturation zone. So it's going to put out energy like that beacon. When it does that, the energy all around it that builds up can now be multiplied. It now increases the amount of energy because each wave has its own energy in it. And the more waves you have, the more energy you have. Think about it that way. That's how you're amplifying it. Each one of them has its own frequency attached in that wave, followed by a null zone attached by another wave of energy, then by a null zone, another wave of energy. That's what they do. So as they build out, it adds energy to the system if you have enough pickups. That's why it's important. That's why it's so important to do it that way. It changes the whole understanding of what you're doing. Yeah, think about it. Just think about it, man. As they work together, it's resonating each other. They're building upon the other one. The distance matters. The geometry you put them in matters. How you single them around the main one. That's why when you look at things for a 0 point, what do you got to have? Well, the 0 point is that same exact process. It must build out through every single coil in an amplified manner to come back to the center to refill the center at all times, so it's always full. Has to be always full. That's how it does it. 0 point is simply meaning that you're going to pull in energy from all around you. That's what it is. The 0 point field is the energy that is pulled in from every bit of the environment around it to make it work. Now, that could be an open space, that could be on a planet, that could be anywhere when you form a planet. It must pull in the surrounding energy from around it that makes the well continuously full. If it does not do that process, it will not work as a 0 point. In order to expand the energy in that, it's a simple physics experiment. 2 plates in a Casimir effect, put them together, 9 volts, pull them apart, 1,000 volts. Let's do that every, 200 times per 1 second. Okay, think about that. I can't move my hands that fast. 200 times per 1 second is what we want to do. Boom, 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 boom. Now you think about how the waves work. One energy field, non-energy field, one energy field, non-energy field. How much bigger? Each time I compress it and pull it apart, I'm creating more fields, right? Again. I'm constantly creating more energy. I'm pulling it into a vacuum. Every time it pulls apart, a vacuum is formed. The energy pulls in from the environment, from that vacuum. It pulls in and boom, you explode it out. Pulls in, boom, you explode it out. Boom. Every time. When you look at what 0 point energy is, that's what it is. It's the compression of the center, but it's also gravity. It is the exact reason you have gravity. It's the exact reason a gravity well functions. It's the same thing as 0 point energy. You have to take a null zone and constantly compress and decompress it and create those waves of energy out from it in order to make a gravity well work. Once you create that outside shell of the radiation with the energy fields, you'll have a static field, a magnetic field layered, and there'll be a little bit of frequency off from each other. It's just like structured plasma. It'll constantly create that gravity well. You have to allow it to do its job. Compress, decompress, compress, decompress. Thousands and thousands of times. It is the understanding of this that'll get you your gravity well. That's what I'm trying to show on the gravity flyer. That's what they're missing. They can write the field. The field was easy. And they can write the physics behind it. Compressing a null zone in order to create the gravity well is much different. It's not physically hard. It's getting it all to work on the correct timing to get it to match so that none of it leaks out of the field. Because what they generally do is either they compress really well in one field, or they'll have a main field and leak out to a secondary field, to a third field. Well, you need to keep those zones in close enough where that the primary field on it has enough energy in it. That's exactly how you build it out. That's how they make gravity wells. I know it's probably something a lot of you haven't heard out there, but that's what it does. Joe and I talk about it all the time. We hint to it all the time when we talk about different features and how things are done. That's what you're looking for. That's exactly what you're looking for. You want to continuously create the Casimir effect and then pull it apart. You need that vacuum to form. Once that vacuum formed, man, you got it. Because remember what I told you about the outside field, it holds in energy or it forces it out. So if it's holding in the energy and you keep creating this vacuum inside, what happens? Well, everything pulls towards the center. Everything pulls towards the center, okay? Which gives you your gravity. Think about that. Once you do that and the energy fields are out there, everything compresses to the center. It's going towards the compression zone. Now you're taking that and you're constantly going like this, like a heartbeat. And you're creating these waves that build out, but they can't get out. They're stuck in this bubble. What happens to the bubble? You have a ton of voltage stuck in fields like this around this craft. 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer, builds out in fields. They're stuck in their zones because the frequency of those zones will not allow them to escape. Now you have 3 different zones that they're set in continuously. It's self-structuring plasma that you definitely cannot see. There you go. That's how that thing builds out. That's anti-gravity. It's not pushing against the earth. It's not forcing yourself against the earth. As a matter of fact, the more that you fight that field, the stronger it pulls you towards the earth. You have to create your own gravity inside the gravitational field of the earth itself. That way you can be outside of how the gravitational field works. It's now shedding it off. It's not holding it in. That's how you do it. You have to create a gravity well in order to eliminate gravity from the equation while you're creating your own gravity in your system, which, by the way, should tell you something when the system calls for you to make O3 into it, which means that you're producing an ozone layer around it, which, if you know anything about the radiation layer will hold in the gaseous layer, which means the O3 will be held in by the radiation layer on the outside, which means you're going to start to form other gases based on the light that comes into it and it produces it, which means that you're going to have multiple gases produced because the light itself, compressed in those layers between the magnetic radiation, will create different gases, which will allow you to have atmosphere inside of it. Therefore, you'll not only have a gravity well, you'll have atmosphere. Just like your planet. I'm not telling you anything your planet doesn't do already. I'm just telling you that's how it works. So are there things that need to be added to it? Sure there are. You have to have rotation. You have to have magnetism at the center. You got to have a rotating magnetic field. You got to have energy that pulses back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because it always has to do work to stay in resonance. The center core may not look like what you think it should. Things built out on both sides of a flat plate, like 2 spheres building out on both sides of a flat plate that you can't see. But when you put high voltage on it, they swirl around until they get back to the center and they stay there, just like a tornado effect. Okay? It does it constantly. But that's when you know that null zone's in the center. It's right there in the center. Okay? And it's always finding it. It always finds a null zone. In any piece of flat metal that you put out there, the null zone will be found right in the center of it. You pump it, you're going to be pumping a lot of energy out. You try to put it somewhere else, doesn't work. Hutchinson effect is creating a null zone in a piece of metal that has the same frequency as a piece of metal. It creates a node inside of it based on that metal, and then it'll rip it to shreds once you change the frequency on it. That's what it does. But it takes quite a while for the actual effect to work in the metal. So think about it this way. The piece of metal is no different than a number 2 Tesla coil put out there with nothing else in it. You're resonating at the frequency of the metal itself. It creates a node in the center. As it creates a node in the center, the energy builds. It creates those different layers that come out like this, and it'll absolutely shred every piece of metal around it. That's the Hutchinson effect. Hutchinson built anti-gravity. There's no question. The Hutchinson effect is not really well known because people don't understand the ionization part of it. You must have contained ionization inside of a bubble. And not a lot of people do that. They do it in a big open area. They do it in, you know what I mean, a big building or something like that. Hutchinson used his room itself to create that zone. When you see a lot of replications, they don't do that. They don't understand that factor. And they're not creating the field bubble the proper way. When you don't do that, you won't even understand it. When he's over there showing you that he can take his Tesla coil and put another wind of a Tesla coil inside of it, and he's taking this little piece of aluminum and making it jump off like crazy, well, the only way that aluminum jumps off is you've created AC. The only way to create AC is the coil inside of a coil and run it differently. It's the way he's doing it. He's ionizing the air. You want to be able to break the molecules up of everything that's in the air. You want to put them back to a gaseous state. I'm going to have to stop on saying that thing right there because it's going to go into something else. But that's what Hutchinson did. There's no question that he did it. That's exactly how he got it to work. Everything that you see in there that lifts and does all that stuff is inside of a field. It has to do with how he was able to pull off the frequency of everything. And the fact that some of that stuff had no chokes on it. Think about this. The reason I use the Slayer Exciter with no choke on it is for the Hutchinson effect. Because I want it to resonate with everything. Individually, it finds the frequency of each one of them and resonates it. You put a choke on the Slayer Exciter, it kills that immediately. Immediately. You ruin the entire effect. Just completely destroy it. That's why when they went to go redo the Integratron, I was disappointed because the first thing Dollard said was, we put a choke on it. Well, thanks, buddy. You just ruined the effect. When I stand in the room with my Tesla coil and it has no choke on it, it starts to want to resonate with me. Just understand that was the whole reason to build the Integratron. The whole reason. So, yeah, if you did it at the wrong frequency, it did a lot of damage. Yeah, I can absolutely see that. Yeah. Well, you're messing with radiation. You have to understand that, just so everybody knows. When you start getting the Hutchinson effect, you're dealing directly with radiation. And it's going to scramble you pretty good. So anybody that comes out of that and is okay, man, thank God for that. But yeah, because frequency in a radiation field is going to get to you. So let's see, if gravity is an effect of motion, which is more than that, you will need to manipulate motion in order to manipulate gravity. I'm guessing it's come crazy spinning. So here's the thing, and I'll describe it to you in this way. There are a lot of people that go out there and spin things. And what they do is they create a centrifugal force. What that basically means, it creates stabilization. Now, it can look like lift if you put it on if you put it on a scale, it'll absolutely look like lift and it'll look like weight reduction, right? But it's really a stabilization field. You need a counter stabilization field with it. Okay, because that's going to give you both sides of the effect. You can't just run on one side of the effect. You must have both. But you don't need magnets in the both. You just need magnets on one side because one side is going to ultimately become the center point in spinning. So it's going to become the center of gravity for everything is where this magnet layer is. The layers up above it, no matter how many there are not the center point. It's where that magnetic field is. That's your center point. And it'll always build out that way. Every time you put rotational magnets on there and centrifugal force with the actual weight of it, to create that stabilization factor. You just need counter rotation to it, not at the same weight, but just counter rotation for it so that you can create the torsion fields necessary to get into the null zone that you need it to get into in order to create compression inside of that null zone when you pump this thing. You can do that with sound, okay? Which will do it, which will create compression in the waves that come out like this to go this way, and the ones that come down like this, and they'll meet in the center, and they'll create a compression right there. That'll happen. You can do it with solenoids, where the solenoids drop the plate back and forth and creates a Kashmir effect that pulls it apart like this. But the magnetic field will always be the center part of everything that's in there in the way that it works. So, yeah, the rotation's important, but the rotation of actual disc that you're spinning is going to be far less in the plate itself than it's going to be on the field outside of it when it creates it. When you get into the high voltage field, it's going to go at one speed based on the resonance, and then the magnetic field will go on another speed based on the resonance, okay? And then you're going to get on the outside, you're going to get that radiation field that's going to build its own resonance frequency, and they'll build out in a very specific way, and they'll all be compressed and encapsulated just in a field on the outside, okay? Just on the field on the outside. It doesn't work at the same speed that the disc itself spins at. It works at the speed that it gets put into in the self-structuring plasma that it's in. So I agree, though. We do need a crystal laboratory. Dude, I swear, man, if I had somebody with 1 billion crystals, they would be doing so many tests on them right now. That would be the most coolest thing in the world, dude. If I knew somebody was into that and doing that, and then I could combine what I do, that would be totally awesome. I agree with you. We definitely need a crystal laboratory. That's something I've been working on for a while, and I'm not very good at yet, but we're getting there. Anyway, guys, hopefully you guys learned something today. Hey, I'm going to be on the Traveling Fool channel tonight. I believe Joe's going to be there with me, and then hopefully Bernie will stop in, man, and we'll all have a good time over there. Guys, it's a cool show. It's on 7:30 tonight, Pacific Standard Time. We're going to go over there. We're going to rock it out, guys. It's going to be just awesome. I love the whole vibe of the show. It's cool. Love the intros, man. People over there are awesome. So anyway, that's it, man. Tonight, 7:30, Traveling Fool's channel. You can watch it here on my channel as well. You know, what is it, 4? So about 3 hours and 20 minutes we'll be over there, man, and we'll be rocking it out. It's just going to be a fun, epic time, man. And hopefully everybody will show up and hang out over there with me. So with that said, I want to thank everybody for showing up today and listening to me, man. We're going to be doing a lot of work on my channel here soon. Hopefully you guys all check it out and see everything. I know Bernie will be putting some of it out there on his channel as well, which is going to be awesome. So with that said, man, have yourself a great night.
The old man will. The old man will. The old man will. The old man builds. The old man builds is broken in the head. People not seeing reality has put them in the red. Where conscious and spirituality restricted from the norm and replaced with the ignorance of basic magnetic form. The geometry of God keeps running through his head. That's what makes old man builds broken in the head. The old man builds. The old man builds. Fears of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. Fears of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. Fears of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds.